Hello there. So over the last few weeks, I've been experimenting with different productivity ideas. I was struggling a little bit in February, just to get stuff done. Like I was doing a lot of things, but I wasn't necessarily getting the things done that I needed to do. So I was feeling like, oh, I worked really hard today, but then I would look at my to-do list and be like, well, crap, I didn't do any of that. So my sister and I have been working together and we're doing these experiments. So she has a science background, so she's set this whole thing up. And we meet once a week and we decide what our next week's experiment is going to be. So some of the experiments that I've tried are things like only checking my email 3 times per day. Like in the morning when I get to my desk, in the middle of the day, and then right before I leave, just to make sure there's no fires to put out. That was one. Using Pomodoro timers was one. Going through a specific workday shutdown, for example. And it's been really interesting to see the results of these experiments because they were not, in some cases, they were not at all what I thought they would be. So checking my email 3 times a day. I did that for a week and I will admit I didn't do that well at it. But I found that if I don't have my email open, that I'm a lot more productive because I don't see that little flashy notification thing that's like, hey, you have a new email. Normally the email's not even anything that I need to deal with, but just the notification was enough for me to get distracted and then be like, oh, shiny new thing, I just want to read my email. So closing the email during the day has been super helpful, and then only intentionally opening it. So I don't necessarily check it twice per day, but I'm intentional about when I do open it. Pomodoro timers I thought was going to be a great one for me. I'm going to work for this period of time and that's all I'm going to do, and I'm just going to focus. And while I'm really good at just focusing for extended periods of time, I was not very good at deciding how long that was going to be beforehand and then timing myself in doing it or remembering to do that. So I think I did it twice in the whole week because I just could not remember. And then I think I did it and I was like, okay, I'm going to work for 25 minutes. And then 25 minutes happened. And then I was like, I'm just going to keep working. So I ended up working for 90 minutes. So that one didn't work out. That was the tested, not worked. Something that does work that I was not surprised about was getting at least 9 hours of sleep every night. I am far more productive during the day if I've actually slept the night before, turns out, especially now that I'm caffeine free, so I can't just have more coffee and be more awake. So getting a lot of sleep, which is now something that I'm ruthless about, in that if I go to bed late, which is something I tend to do, then I just make sure that I can sleep in the next morning, and that if I do have an early meeting, which I just don't book early meetings anymore. I don't like doing that. So 9 hours of sleep every night was super useful. Starting the day with my hardest task, that one was really up and down. If I did it, it was great. And it was like, oh, that wasn't actually so hard. And then the rest of the stuff I had to do, it was really easy to not procrastinate doing those things. Or it was really easy to just do them and not think, oh, well, I'm going to just do this other thing first or whatever it was. So those work really well. I wasn't very good at actually doing that. I think I only did that 3 out of the 6 days that I worked that week. But when I did it, it was great. So we said that one was tested and it worked. I just have to get better at actually doing it. And I think actually that's kind of a big takeaway from all of this, is that you can put all these plans in place and all these strategies and that kind of thing. But what it really comes down to is just doing the thing. If you like you just have to do the thing. There's no way around it. There's no shortcut. There's no like magic spell to make it just happen for you. You have to just do the thing, and it takes discipline. Productivity is a discipline, an outcome of discipline. And I think that that's really what all of these experiments have been showing me, is that, you know, there are things to do that can make it easier, like getting enough sleep, like not having your email open, like doing a workday shutdown. That's been really helpful for me. Planning what I need to do the next day, the night before, so that one, I can stop working and feel okay about it. But two, the next day, I don't have to think about, oh, what do I want to do today? And I don't have to make a decision about what do I want to do during the day. I just know, like, oh, Past Kate said I need to do these things, so I'm going to do those things. All of those are really great tools to help and make it easier to be productive, but they don't make you productive. You have to actually just do the thing. And in a lot of cases, it's just mind over, well, your mind, I guess, since I'm just sitting at my desk, but like just deciding, okay, I'm going to do this thing now. Just being intentional about your time and not just allowing it to slip away by doing whatever comes up next. And also that productivity tools take time. So being organized takes time. It feels like, oh, if I have this system of my emails, like I sort my emails in this folder, or I write down the tasks that come into my head but that I don't have time to do, or that I don't want to stop what I'm currently doing to do the task that just popped into my brain, I have to stop and write it down. So, you know, like I have to sort my email into those boxes. I have to actually like do that thing, which takes more time. So it feels a little counterintuitive that it takes more time to be organized so that we can save ourselves time. And I've run up against that a couple of times in the last, 6 weeks or so that we've been doing these experiments, and that it's like, oh, I wish I was better at blank. It's like, well, sure, but you don't actually do blank, whatever it is. So that's been a really interesting realization, that organization, it takes time in order to save yourself time, even though that's counterintuitive. I would love to know, what is the thing that you do during the day that's maybe a bit weird, that makes you more productive, or that helps you to stay organized? For me, not having meetings on Mondays was a huge deal. Like, I just don't take meetings on Mondays. I take them Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and that's it. And that was huge. Like having a full Monday where I actually sit and work on like client work and stuff like that. When I have a super busy day on Tuesday, like back-to-back meetings all day Tuesday, that's okay because I did a ton of work on Monday, so I don't feel behind at the end of the day on Tuesday. So that was really good. Learning that one sort of happened by accident, where I just was like, oh, I just need to block off a day. And so I blocked off a Monday, and then was like, oh man, this is way better than taking meetings on Monday. So now I don't take meetings Monday, which has been great. And this week I'm not starting my day until noon because I am a night owl kind of person, and I just prefer that my day is later. Like I like to stay up later, I like to sleep in later. And so it's not that I'm working any less. I'm not working like noon to 5, obviously, because it's like 20 to 7. But I'm just pushing my day later, and that's helping. Like I feel so much better working later in the day. So what's a thing like that you do that keeps you organized or keeps you productive? Do you only take meetings on some days? Do you have a little, whiteboard that you write stuff down on? Like, what's your thing that you love doing, or a couple things? And maybe it'll be a little different than other people. Maybe it's like a weird thing. I put weird in quotes because like weird's just a word we use and we don't have another word for it. I don't think it's weird. Anyways, I think I've gone down a rabbit hole now. Anyway, let me know in the comments what your best productivity ideas, tips are, and how you keep yourself organized. I'll see you tomorrow.